Hey, so I recently bought this secondhand bass for $50. What a bargain. But when I went to change the strings, I noticed that one of the machine heads had stripped the gear, and so it was time to replace the machine heads. So I did some research, mainly around the size of the machine head, where the mounting holes would go with the screws, and the size of the shaft and the headstock, and I arrived at these Gotos, made in Japan. They were going to require the least amount of modification. I was still going to have to drill new holes for the screws, but every design I was going to have to do that with this particular bass. And when you do your research into which machine heads you're going to buy, you're going to want to check the layout of the screws that mount it. You want to check the diameter of the shaft, the inside diameter of the ferrule, the outside diameter of the ferrule. Each machine head should have like a dimensions sheet which has a drawing and tells you all that information. And you just want to double check everything twice. So here we are, removing the old machine heads and removing the ferrules or bushings. I just used a hammer and a punch and supported the neck and just moved the punch around the ferrule in different positions to equally distribute the force. Now the new ferrules, I knew this was going to happen when I ordered them. The new ferrules would have a little bit too much play, so the tip I found after some research was to use some plumber's Teflon tape to just make up the gap so that the ferrules would sit snugly in there. So here we have the new ferrules in. You can see some of the Teflon tape there, but I just made sure none of it was visible once the machine heads were on. Now it's time to test fit the new machine heads. I knew the screw hole spacing was going to be off. I hadn't really fathomed the size of the kind of backing plate in relation to the headstock. Turns out there was some overhang if I had the machine head square to the headstock. So in the end I decided to rotate all the machine heads off 90 degrees a little bit so that all of the back plate would stay on the back of the machine of the headstock. And I think this turned out fine. Instead of having it all square like this, I haven't noticed any difficulty in tuning or by having that 5-degree rotation. So just something to keep in mind if you have a smaller headstock like I did. Okay, then it was time to mark out the holes. So I just pressed the machine head in, made sure it didn't move while I was marking the holes, and just used a black pen, nib pen, to make the new hole markings. Now I'm center punching each of these holes so that the drill bit has somewhere to locate and it's not going to wander around. I would not skip this step. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, now I'm going to measure the thickness of the screws I'm going to use and make sure that I choose a drill bit that is just a fraction smaller than the screws I'm using. So these screws have a shaft diameter of about 2 mil, which is different from the thread diameter, and I think these screws actually got a little bit thicker as they went up. But I'm going to stick with a 2mm drill bit. I'm also checking the depth of the screw so that I know how deep to drill the hole. It's about 10 mils past the machine head. So I'm just going to use that 10 mil to make a little mark on my drill bit using some masking tape so that when the drill bit hits the tape I know that I've gone down 10 mil. I'm just eyeballing this as far as level goes, trying to keep it straight in all directions. Can't really go wrong, you just don't want to go too deep. Now it's time to lubricate the screws because the hole is a little bit smaller than the screw. We don't want to shear the screw or break the screw, that would just be a world of pain. So I just had some beeswax candle. You could use candle or soap or anything that's like a dry lubricant. And then it was time to install the screws. I like to put all the screws into about 90% and then finish them all off in one go. Kind of like changing a car tire. You don't want to put all the force in one area at the beginning, you just want to spread the force around. And I just used a little bit of sewing machine oil, 1 drop, and just lubricated. This is what went wrong, I think, with the original machine head. Hope you found that helpful. Good luck if you're taking this job on.